actually going to be even more usable in game because you can even use it to zone off an area, right? That kind of delayed explosion. It's like having extra grenades in pocket, a huge boon. I think we might even see some teams try to pick it up and use it. I don't know. They might just stick with the tried and true. We'll see. But Lance, I'm getting word. Game 1, map 1 is here. We're going to Erangel, and I couldn't be more excited to see that plane fly in because I know these players are anxious to get onto the battlefield and see what they can do, especially against some of their content creator buddies, or maybe if you're a community member, you're trying to prove your name and prove something here on the battlefield. Now's the time to do it on the battlegrounds. PUBG Mobile, Dodge collaboration. It's time. Let's get into the game here shortly.
I say we shift into gear, Goj.
Shift into gear, Lance. Oh no, it's starting. We're getting into the puns. Shift into gear, lock and load. The Dodge collaboration is here, and we're going to see some cool skins if we can find some vehicles on the map, which on a map like Erangel, you certainly want, Lance, because rotations are everything in order to find some success.
Love it. Driving along here with, well, flying along, rather, with Coffee. Already out of the plane. Same with Dab Plays. These guys friends and early jumpers, it appears. So, again, getting into that action early, and we'll see what type of skins they're rocking on their vehicles. I have a hunch I might know what they'll be.
Yeah, I was taking a look at some of those beforehand. Of course, we've got the Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat, which has the Blaze Lime Jailbreak. You know, we've got the Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat, which is the Tuscany Torque, the Fuchsia, the Jailbreak as well there. And then the Dodge Hornet is all the new skins as well, with the GLH concept, the Scarlet Sting, Sunburst. Look, there's a lot of cool skins we can call out for all of these Dodge vehicles, and super excited to see them here on main stage. I was told, by the way, Lance, that Dad Plays might be one of the best drivers in the map today. At least his team was touting him for that, so we'll see if he can kind of live up to that namesake.
All right, you never know when somebody gets called out as being a really good driver, if it's like for real or ultra sarcastic. So now that you've mentioned that, I've got my eyes squarely on Dab Plays. We'll see for ourselves what kind of driver this man is. We've got an opportunity not only to drive on the battlegrounds, but also the tracks here on some of our official Dodge maps here a bit later on. But for now, check out Rolex's team here. It looks like they're in Milta getting that loot going on, and we'll see if they get challenged early on.
Yeah, again, we highlighted Rolex beforehand, and fantastic player. We've got Waffles Gaming here as well. We could spend several hours talking about these content creators' long history with PUBG Mobile, and of course all of our qualifyees, as it were, that worked their way through those rigorous qualifiers. I think we had well over like 700 people try to qualify for this event and got down to the top 48, which is super exciting to see what they can do. But Lance, especially in moments like this in the early game, I mean, talk to me a little bit about what these teams are going to be doing, especially on a map like Erangel, when we've got a lot of room to work with. What's kind of the strategy here in the early game?
Well, clearly the strategy for this is securing a vehicle, getting one of those new Dodges in hand, getting those car keys. We got to get that. I'm half joking, but half serious here as well, because with 64 players on the map, we've got to be able to actually rotate and secure those positions that are optimal in the zone. So it's all about looting up quickly and then getting off wherever that circle happens to go. But before they do that, it looks like there may be a bit of a showdown brewing here in Milta. Juicy certainly seems to hear. Looks like Waffles Gaming and her squad camped out. They're awfully close together. Rolex's squad here has the angles for sure, but they suffer the early knock. Juicy down on his knees.
Yeah, I love early encounters on Erangel because these are crucial linchpin moments to look back on and say, okay, what could we have done different if you're the team that loses this early encounter? This is a massive moment for not only the team that wins it, but for the team that loses it, right? If you go down early in the first map, you're missing out on a ton of points you can earn in this first map. And we only have a couple of these large map games that we're going to be playing. We're going to be able to earn a sizable amount of points. So we'll see how this kind of team engages. Waffle kind of playing backside, but no, finds one out in the open. Waffle absolutely dominated the player on your screen. Fantastic shots from Waffles Gaming.
Great shots indeed. Another creator I want to call out that's in a bit of trouble is Bushka. Not currently on screen, but I saw him in the kill feed the receiving end of some lead, and that's not where he wants to be either. So Waffles, Rolex, Bushka all in it early on here. Milta starting to pop off for sure. And now we're hearing the mortars of those dodges fire up, and Rolex is in the vehicle. They may choose to get out of here. They seem to be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, I'm excited to preview some more of those Dodge vehicles. But look, you can grab a Dodge, you're going to be feeling fantastic because you're going to be able to get out of Dodge in particular to get to the new location. It looks like a sizable amount of early fights, which is always fun to see. We talked about different zones of activity when it comes to Battle Royale, specifically here in PUBG Mobile. The early game, you've got to find the loot. Once you find loot, especially if you get good loot, you've got to put the pressure on some teams around you. Once you take out the teams around you and you kind of clear a path for rotation into the mid game, then you're going to be sitting pretty. You're going to be able to set up for that kind of in-game chaos that always ensues. Got to make sure you've got your smokes, got your dodge for a bit of cover, and of course to rotate to new circle when it pops. So usually the breakdown and everything's kind of playing out to that exact same formula.
Indeed it is. We got her gaming here. All kinds of pings coming out right now, and BellaFox as well, seemingly nearby. Bella, again, lots of practice behind the wheel these last couple of weeks. But again, we'll have to see if that sniper rifle is on point today in the battlegrounds. Like Goj mentioned, just a few opportunities here really to get on that leaderboard, secure some points. So these first opening games are so crucial, and we have an awkward zone going up north right now, headed up towards Zarky. Not going to make it all the way there, but we are looking at that northern island potentially in this one.
That's a great shout as well, because especially when you drop, if you're maybe a team that doesn't like this kind of hyper-aggressive start and you're a team that drops kind of outside of zone, you've got a long way to go. Lance, what a better way to rotate than pick up your Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat, right? I mean, the Tuscany Torques, one of the different skins you could use. I believe, though, this is the Jailbreak, which is that kind of violet venom. No, I think this is Fuchsia, Lance. Yeah, this is the Fuchsia Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat. So excited to see a bunch of different skins today we'll be shouting out. This is kind of that fuchsia pink you'll be seeing a lot of teams using. Solara, apparently, this is one of her favorites.
Indeed. Love me some Charger. You know, I said the Challenger SRT Hellcat earlier. I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to go with the Charger. I feel like that thing, it's got some wiggles to it, man. It can cruise. It can do the drifting. I'm excited about it. You know, quite a bit of horsepower to show off here on the battlegrounds. We take our attention to Jacob. He's underground. I don't know if he's in hiding. I don't know if they're trying to deliver subpoenas or what's going on here. But Jacob, they have a buggy, so they're clearly at a disadvantage.
A massive disadvantage. First and foremost, tactically, you don't have a lot of cover. I mean, the amount of times I've seen Wynnsanity snipe somebody out of a buggy is innumerable. The man is always going for clips, and the buggy, not a lot of cover, not very quick. Maybe you can swap that up for a Dodge Charger, SRT Charger if you can. We'll see.
Indeed. This is the paint job here, though, Goj. This one is looking fire. This one is the Jailbreak Edition. It's the Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat. Jailbreak Edition's got those classic flames on there. And this thing cruises, dude. I cannot wait to see if we get some action with these vehicles, or if we have some Dodges run into each other on the battlegrounds. See if they get into a little bit of a race here. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, and we talk about the kind of efficiency that you can gain when you use these vehicles. This is exactly what I was talking about, right? When you've got somebody like her gaming rotating and we're maybe swapping between several different vehicles. I don't know why we would swap to a more open-aired vehicle because that Dodge was flying, but this is what I was talking about. You've got to have a vehicle for rotations, especially if you're out in the blue. We know how punishing it can be, and so if you don't have a vehicle, go find one to rotate into new. That blue will chip you away dramatically, especially in kind of the mid to mid in game. If you don't have a vehicle, you're going to be in trouble. But the cover of especially our Dodge vehicles is actually going to be crucial for the in game if we find ourselves in an in game that doesn't have a lot of cover, doesn't have a lot of trees or buildings or otherwise to play around. So watch out for that.
Indeed, Farooq will have his head on a swivel, and as he did have his head on a swivel running across that road, I peeked up the road. I saw one of those Tuscany Torque editions of the Charger SRT Hellcat, and I'm curious to see if that's Farooq's already or if he's going to go snag that bad boy, take it for a bit of a joyride. Again, got that loot on his mind right now as priority, that 8x scope. That'll come in handy if he's sniping. So far, though, just the AKM and a little DBS action here. So, again, Farooq in loot mode, and I know he's got something to prove. Again, one of the creators that actually hit the track in these vehicles in real life. So, again, excited to see how he does. And, hey, Goj, I'm seeing a Dodge Detour that just popped up.
Dodge Detour, the first one on the day. It looks like you got to equip Dodge skins, okay? So in our first map, all you got to do is equip Dodge skins on the next 3 vehicles you see, all right? So you've got to go equip them as fast as you can to claim that Dodge Detour. And Lance, that's worth 5 points if you're able to do that. Here it is. We're seeing it again on Wynnsanity screen, just popped up. They're talking about it. 5 points goes to you and your team if you can equip skins on the next 3 vehicles you see, but you got to do it in that small time limit. So if you can see that, maybe if you're on your mobile device, it's hard to see, but 4 minutes and 45 seconds and counting, all right? That's how long you have to claim this. Otherwise, you've missed out. And you can see the quantity is 16 because, well, as we get into an encounter here, every team has a chance to earn it. You just got to do it in the time limit.
Love it. You can see 16 challenges able to redeem. That's one for every team. And I'm seeing quite a few people in this house, and they do not have the same colors. So it's bound to pop off here any moment. Melissa being awful quiet, and there is a third team. That's Coffee Gaming coming up the hill, but we've got Wynnsanity, we've got Solara going head-to-head right now. Win squad is split, and this could be interesting. This is a big fight, Goj.
Yeah, a massive fight. We'll see what Win can do. Or a shotgun reloading. Apparently it's not Win. We'll see. Looks like Payne's got it in hand. Goes down, though, somehow. Master gets the better of him. Push the equation. Should get a cleanup there. Another key thing to think about. Wynnsanity just wasn't close enough to provide some cover. Payne tried to win with the shotgun, but just wasn't enough, Lance. And those are those moments, too. Like, if Wynnsanity just a bit closer, maybe could provide some covering fire where they don't just clean Payne up immediately. But once you grab the knock, you've got to go for the full elim.
You gotta go for it. Secure those bad boys. That's too many points to leave on the table. You can see BellaFox getting those challenge points locked. Still 14 of them up for grabs, but only just under 3 minutes to go grab those. But no big deal for Prodd and his group. He's already got those challenger skins on the vehicle, and the other teams will be trying to follow suit and do just the same.
And I think if I'm Jacob here, I think he's just trying to get a bit of information about where there's some other teams. And of course, you've got to have smokes. A key thing, aside from having your dodge, you got to have some smokes for rotations. Incredibly useful when it comes to the late game. And I think you can hear a little bit of the comms behind us here, Lance.
Let's listen in.
Yeah, I would be curious to listen in as they're racing their dodges.
I'm trading out cars right now.
Trading out those vehicles. Look at that.
Check blue houses.
Yeah, I think I was trying to listen in a little bit, and I think they were making sure to grab as many vehicles as they could in order to complete that Dodge Detour, which is a strong play because, well, 5 points goes a long way. Of course, that's about 2 eliminations and a half, right? 5 points across the board, but 5 points is also the same as it looks like getting 11th place overall. So a sizable amount of points to add to your repertoire. And again, so many different ways to earn points today. You need to take it up, take advantage of it when it pops up. It looks like 4 teams have already claimed those.
There's so many people alive for this.
That's important. Those points will be a big deal. You can see here, BellaFox already equipped her points, got those claimed up, so it's faded out for her. So again, really like the initiative this team is taking, getting those points on the board. But you got the smokes out, maybe a bit of trouble brewing here. And BellaFox going to try to win this fight. Already several players wiped out, down to 50 left in this lobby, Coach.
Yeah, Powerbag, here's the question. If you're a team like Her Gaming that's kind of on the outer edges of the zone, what's your strategy here? Because like there's always different ways to you can see Riggs actually just claimed the dodge detour on screen. I love that we get that challenge complete popping up. But you know, when you are playing outer edge, what's your strategy? I mean, information gathering that's kind of where my head goes to.
It's definitely information gathering. It's trying to watch those circles and, again, want to be on the short side of that zone, right, as you get those circles closing. Because, again, if you find yourself on the long side of a hard shift, it is treacherous to try to get in because the blue zone is not your friend and every squad is watching you. So, again, it's trying to circle that zone, stay on that edge, try to kind of wall off behind you to make sure nobody can sneak up on you. But then other than that, it is exactly what you mentioned, which is gathering that information, trying to find the best compound or best hard cover to dive into as the time gets short.
Yeah, it's a great breakdown, and that's exactly what Prodd was able to do. It looks like they're inside of zone, they're hanging out, they found a bit of cover, and they're just playing patient here because a lot of teams are going to be rotating in towards them, and if they can pick up some of these teams on rotations, whether those teams are flying in on their Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcats or if they're quite literally running in, either way, they should be able to pick up a couple eliminations if they do this right, and they're going to be sharing loot as well. Kind of pre-prep and prepare for everything that is coming their way, but they should be hanging out in that building for quite some time as they're already inside of zone.
That was a whole heck of a lot of loot there, man. They were having a full-blown party, official, with invitations for other squads to show up and crash it. We'll see if anybody does. Coffee Gaming here, again, trying to gather that intel, peeking out the windows, seeing what's what, on the lookout for those dodges on the horizon, and doesn't see anything at the moment. Waffles Gaming getting finished in the kill feed there. Unfortunate for her as they started strong at Milta, but ultimately starting to fizzle out here a bit as we start to hit the halfway mark of this game.
Yeah, and that's the thing about kind of highly aggressive play styles. Like when you're hot dropping with somebody, it looks like our circle has ended up at shooting range. When you're hot dropping with somebody, like you can win out that encounter, but you go into the next fight, a couple teams waiting on you there. Maybe you go in, resources down, not a ton of meds. Like sometimes that highly aggressive playstyle doesn't pay off in terms of placement, but hopefully a few eliminations their way so they can creep up the leaderboard. Coffee here is actually, I was taking a look at the top left-hand corner of our screen. Coffee's actually out. It looks like I think Coffee is just spectating some other teams potentially, or at the very least his teammate. I think he's got 2 up on his team as they're trying to make their way into the kind of upper echelon portion of our leaderboard. Because again, placement points are going to be key today. Placement points start if you get 15th place, you get 1 point, but they really start scaling up, especially, 6th place is 10 points, 5th place, 11 points, and so on and so forth. That chicken dinner, 15 points, will look really, really good on your resume.
Absolutely. Coffee out early along with his teammate Volt, but Quatch and Triggs trying to get it done for them. We'll move over now to the Thesaurus PG. They are hanging out underground, getting that loot, trying to make sure that they are squared away for the next fight. No eliminations yet for Papa PG, but that's okay. That's okay. It's early still. We do need some meds, though. If we can get some of those for the Thesaurus, I feel like that would be the play here.
Look, the Dodge Challengers and the Dodge Charger SRT Hellcats, they can do a lot for you. But when you've got little to no health, finally is able to grab some meds. Wow, yeah, I was feeling quite a bit scared, and I think PG was as well. Oh, yeah, they're in a fight from distance. Look at his health right back where it was. Gets shot through the window, but using the vehicle as a bit of cover and some smokes to cover as well, they might be able to get a res here.
That heal was awful clutch. I mean, if he didn't get that one off, he would have been on his knees just like his teammate, and they would have been in a much different position. Looks like Jacob Gaming here, though, putting pressure on them from the berm. I want to go ahead and take a listen in here with Jacob and see how they're strategizing here on this approach.
Are they pushing up to you? Are they going around? Heavy hits. Okay, the smoke's gone. Hey, these guys are getting pushed inside. Good stuff. Is our back clear by the bunker? No ammo, no ammo.
Watch out.
Yeah, I got one. There's one guy. There's a guy here camping. Don't have a shot.
Powerbank, I love these comps. Like, you could hear how crisp they are, how clean they are, even in moments of panic where they're fighting 2 or 3 teams potentially at once here in the edge of zone. They're just calling out what they see, communicating to each other. Hey, no ammo. Hey, have you checked our back? Hey, have you, are the teams pushing over the hill? I love the way this team is playing right now. I think there's a chance they could go all the way, especially with some vehicles in tow to move into the next zone.
You nailed it right there. I was actually marveling at Jacob's cool, calm, and collected demeanor here. They're fighting off 2 squads right now. They've got runners. They've got rabbits trying to get out of there, but at the same time, no stress in the voice. You can just hear them, shouting things out, calming where the locations of the enemies are. And even despite having low ammo and obviously their position is clearly known, they're doing a great job here. So again, Jacob and the squad, good angles here with Laser on that off angle, pushing the action. Hopefully he doesn't get too far separated here, but I like the call here. Jacob's got an opportunity to go all the way.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of terrain to work with here for some cover. I don't mind their spot, but again, you're going to have to rotate in. You can see which team is holding it. It's Meatball and his teammate in the best position to hold both of these 2 teams, Mortal and Jacob's squad, moving in. Now, they're electing to go ahead and move up a little bit further and potentially use the vehicle and some of the smokes as cover, which I like. I think you hang out here the entire time. You just got to be aware that once you find a couple of elims here on the edge of zone holding these teams rotating in, you're likely going to be held as well. There's going to be a team behind you, and I think that's now what they're a little bit worried about.
Absolutely. We talked a little bit earlier about what is the strategy edging into the circle, and we talked about not getting caught on the long side of the circle. That is exactly what's going on right now with Jacob as well as Mortal down there on the right-hand side of your screen. They are trying desperately to get to zone. You saw Laser go ahead first from Jacob's squad, secure that area, and now it's just a matter of trying to get in the blue zone. As we mentioned, not your friend, and Hurt Gaming finding that out firsthand here as they do not make it to the circle, which is unfortunately an early end for them in this game.
Yeah, Meatball's going to try to eke their way in, but it's going to be very difficult to do so, looking for a few meds along the way. Rig saying, there's no way, there's not enough meds. The Papa Blue's taking us down. And we have made it to the top 10. I think that was Riggs that got 10th place overall. And again, that's 6 points added to the leaderboard, so not bad, certainly, but would like to go a little bit further. And it looks like Solara able to spectate her teammate currently because she is down. A nice nade from distance, cleans up another. Solara down for the count. But teammates doing very, very well here on edge of zone.
I love her expression there. That was hilarious. And I got to point out, I really like her position there on the edge of zone, so not quite in the circle, but they've got that trench where people really have to walk all the way up to the lip and look down into it in order to actually get some shots in on them. So I like their position. Got to be one of the favorites here as the circles move on. Again, we're down to just 12 players remaining on this map, Goj. We are in crunch time. Who is going to clutch it up?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I don't mind this spot as well. Only 2 players, and when we talk about in circle, we talk about player advantage. That's going to be key, because if you've got 2, 3, 4 players potentially all still alive on your team, you're going to have a massive advantage going into this final fight. You can see Sucky here off screen finding an elimination on one of the teams we highlighted. It was Crosshaw that went down. Fish, our map creator, alive but barely breathing, flying around the map. And I think a buggy, so not a ton of cover. But I think this Solara team could go all the way here, Lance.
Again, I like the position, and I think it's hilarious. She's sitting here, has already been wiped, and she's just like, listen, they're carrying me. They got this, so she's got the confidence in the team. And let's see if they can lead her to the promised land.
All right, well, here we go. Power Bang, the final couple teams, 10 players remaining and 5 teams. This means on average, every team will have 2. Some teams might be pulling that average one way or the other. The kind of same kind of flow that I'm seeing team to team is that our content creators getting carried. But here's a fight. We've got Solara's squad in a great position, looking to find potentially a revive after grabbing a knock, a huge play. I still think Solara's probably in the best position. You can see Farooq also spectating their team. And it's Didi still alive, trying to serve some subpoenas or otherwise. they're going to hop in their dodge, and they're going to move to the next area of zone that they could potentially hold and maybe just fly straight through the smoke. I don't know, but they've got a little bit of cover. Using the dodge as cover is what we were talking about before. This is crucial in these final couple circles. Really excited to see who could win it all here. BellaFox is cheering on her team, but not able to do it, albeit seemingly a pretty good standing. Only five players remaining, I believe, overall. Powerbang, I don't know if you know who's going to win this, but Didi is looking really good.
Didi looking great right now. And again, Solara super happy with her team. Literally one of just a few teams remaining here. We're down to 5 players, and they've got the position they have for a while now. And we'll see if they can take this to the bank and get that chicken dinner, trying to get served up a chicken dinner. Oh, but player goes down.
I think they had 7 eliminations as well, which is crazy. But your map winner is Team Solara. Went down, but got the trade, and that's what I was talking about, Powerbank. When you got 2 players left alive against the solo, you get a massive advantage. They push the fight, they push the equation, they use the dodges cover, and then the other team hiding behind one of their dodges. It's just, you just got a full send at that point, Powerbank. A really impressive gameplay, and if you think about the leaderboard, those points are going to go crazy. I think just one of those players had 7 eliminations overall. That's 14 points, plus your 15 points from the chicken dinner. A massive game 1 for Team Solara.
Absolutely huge from Team Solara. Don't forget the dodge detour points if they were able to rack up any of those. Obviously, we'll bring you all the scores here in just a moment. But I gotta say, Goj, the way they found that trench, dug in, it reminded me of some, like, you know, ancient warfare strategies where they're getting in their trench and their foxholes, and they fought it out there huge. So let's take a look at some replays here from this first game.
Yeah, I think as we walk back through some of these, obviously we're able to showcase our Dodge Charger SRT Hellcats, our Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcats, and of course you had to change the skins, but some of these fights were so key to a lot of these teams' success, because if you can't clear out some of your early rotations and you kind of get hamstrung or stuck in this kind of quagmire on the outside of zone, having to rotate in that far is going to put you at a disadvantage against teams that maybe are already in zone and waiting. And I don't think the Thesaurus PG could get anything going. My goodness, every single time we tuned into their perspective, something was going totally wrong.
The Dodge Hellfire raining down on them there. You could see them stuck inside of the shack, and that was unfortunate for them. They'll have to run it back here on Miramar in just a bit, but Solara gotta be happy with the community members that made it through to these finals and have squatted up with her, because they are looking sharp so far. Off to a nice start here on erangel.
Yeah, and I'm impressed with that gameplay. I'm excited to see who can kind of replicate that gameplay going into the second map. Again, we're going to Miramar next, and Powerbank, this is where it's going to get spicy. You know what team we basically didn't see? I was shouting at Wynnsanity. He was shouting at himself. He said, I'm going to win every map. We're going to come out on top. I don't know if we saw him maybe more than once at the very beginning of the game. I don't know what went wrong for that team, but they're going to have to bring it back in Miramar.
That's true. It looks like they got into it with Solara at one of the houses. Remember, their squad got split 2 and 2. 2 of them were in the house going up against Solara. You saw Coffee Gaming zoom by. So again, they just got pinched out in the open, out of position. Gonna have to clean things up in this second match if they want to get back into it.
Yeah, and Powerbank, talk to me a little bit about Miramar, the differences between Miramar and erangel. Obviously, erangel been around for a very long time. Miramar as well, though, and a lot of these players have a ton of experience on Miramar. I want you to break that down for me, but first, we got to take a look at the leaderboard, because it's time. We got to see where these teams lined out. This is where it's going to get crazy, and that's what I thought. Ridiculous numbers at the top. Look at Team Solara already. 37 points. And Lance, if I'm saying that correctly, they didn't even get the dodge detour, and they're still on top by 11 points over Team BellaFox.
Hey, they don't need dodge detours. Look at them go, getting all them elims, winning the chicken dinner. Team Solara coming out, firing. They'll have to continue to do that. on Miramar coming up next. But what I'm seeing here is the girls rule. They are on top, 1 and 2. BellaFox coming in second place here. Medalcore, as you highlighted a bit earlier, also sneaking into third place. We got Riggs and Farooq rounding out our top 5. But we're just getting started here in this tournament. Goj, we've got the Muscle Car Madness Grand Finals. So much more to come. Miramar coming up next. And I want to talk a bit about Miramar since you asked me that question. What is different? And I will say, first and foremost, it's the car's top speed, right? There's a lot more open ground that the Dodge Chargers and Challenger SRT Hellcat editions can really stretch out and let those engines roar. So that's the primary difference. But other than that, we got a lot more open sight lines, a lot more opportunity to get caught on rotation. But again, all of the little berms and natural dips in the terrain will lend itself to some play out in the open as well, whereas erangel is a lot more compound-based.
Yeah, and it's even more important than to have your Dodge Challengers and Charger SRT Hellcats to be able to use them for cover. I mean, we talk about the speed of those vehicles all the time, but you've got to use these vehicles for cover, especially when it comes to the end game. You saw how important it was for Team BellaFox, I think, who got second overall. They were down in player numbers. I think they were down on resources. I think there was only 1 or 2 alive pretty much the entirety of that final circle, but they used that Dodge as cover when there was no cover around them. It forced them to kind of hunker down and hold out a position, but it worked out perfectly for them. They were able to clear their back, hung out there, got second place, and then second overall. And as we were looking at that leaderboard, Lance, Powerbang, I also noticed that, yes, there was 11 points separating first and second place. There was 11 points separating second place and 12th place. All the way down to 12th, a massive spread of teams that are all very, very close to each other on the leaderboard, but it's Team Solara really pushing up beyond everybody else thus far.
You know, I couldn't agree more. The middle of this pack, ultra tight. Literally could go any which way, so it's all about who shows up and shows out here coming up next. But I gotta say, Goj, a little disappointed in this first game. We didn't see our new tactical gunpowder tool in use. I want to see that in Miramar. Somebody please pick it up, get a crossbow, get that new tactical gunpowder tool, and start blowing things up. That's a plea from Powerbang. Make it happen, creators. I want to see it. Let's make some content.
Yeah, the creators are going to need to step it up because we love watching their perspectives. They're fantastic players in their own right and make some amazing content. But our community qualifier players were really hard carrying. I mean, I don't know if I saw a single content creator alive in the final circle, so I think hopefully Miramar will go their way, maybe a bit more accustomed to their playstyle. We will see. But yeah, I also want to hear, if you're maybe in some of our live stream chats, talk to me about the AUG, because I know as we were looking at some of the pre-roll content, it was kind of comparing the AUG versus the M4, right? M4, one of the kind of primary weapons that have been used time and time again, is the primary AR of choice. But AUG now on the map, I mean, we were talking a little bit before the broadcast. You're saying you might even prefer the AUG over the M4.
For me, it's a rate of fire thing with the AUG. I will say that the M416 has long been the go-to weapon, the default, right? The preferred favorite for PUBG Mobile enthusiasts. It's been the gun on the battlegrounds forever. And I like the fact that with this last little balance change, we're taking the AUG out of the crates, right? You got to go to the supply drop to get it before. No longer is that fully required. So now you can find this weapon anywhere on the battlegrounds. And again, I haven't fully put it through its paces side by side with the M4 just yet, but I know I liked it before quite a bit. And for me, it was like a little bit slower rate of fire, it felt like. I don't know, something about the feel of a gun. Do you get that, Goj, when you play games?
Yeah,
it's like it feels a certain way to you, even if it's like the stats don't line up with the way you feel. That's kind of how I always felt about the AUG.
No, I love that breakdown. We call that in the business here, Powerbang, we call that comfort picks. You've got to pick your comfort weapon of choice. If you feel most comfortable with a weapon, you've got to use it, which means probably primarily a lot of these players going to stick to that M4, right? They've been using it for who knows how long, a very, very solid weapon choice. But if you are comfortable with the AUG, if you feel like you just like the fire rate a little bit better or something like that, maybe it's a little less forgiving with the amount of bullets that it throws down range, but maybe you can be a little bit more efficient because of that. Whatever it is, pick your comfort pick, and excited to see what the comfort picks for some of these players will be, and if they use the new explosive round, because I gotta see some clips of some crossbows, Powerbang.
We'll make some clips. I'm confident, Coach.
I'm yearning for it.
We're gonna make some clips for sure. You mentioned comfort picks. For me, that resonated so hard. Another one of my comfort picks. It's a weapon that before I would use even before they buffed it, and that's the Ace 32. 2.8 update has seen that had a decrease in recoil. And I will say, I already liked it before. When comparing that with the AKM or the M762, I would go with the Ace 32 regardless. So now that it has even less recoil and a better spray pattern, dude, sign me up. Give me that Ace 32 all day long, baby. I'm so excited to use that one.
Yeah, that's a great shout. Well, I want to take a moment here to remind everybody about the Dodge collaboration. If you didn't know, Dodge makes muscle and isn't afraid to flex it every chance they can get. You've seen the speed of these vehicles in game. You got to go check it out. The Dodge collaboration is available now until November 6th in game. Make sure of course, you got to download PUBG Mobile on iOS or Android Google Play stores to get involved. But I'm sure a lot of you at home have already downloaded it. Go get involved in game. It is live until November 6th to get these Hellcats. So excited to see all the different skins today. We saw Fuchsia for a little bit, but I think, and I was going to say the same, I think that jailbreak on the Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat with the flames is probably the primary option that a lot of these players are using.
It just screams American muscle like the brand is known for. And I will say one thing that is not known for is being cute, Goj. That's one thing.
That's right.
You're in the notes. They're not cute, man. They're strong, they're mean, and they're coming for you. And I'm so excited to see these creators, again, get behind the wheel. This next map on Miramar, again, let's get some predictions now that we've got one match to kind of see who's who, Goj. I want to come to you, my friend. Who are you thinking is going to take home the whole thing here after this first game you've had a chance to witness?
I think the teams at the top are looking really good. They're going to carry the momentum into Miramar. And I think BellaFox, you were talking about sightlines, BellaFox, known as the sniper queen. Like, if she's hitting, her team's hitting, they could go big here in the second map and potentially take over first place and have the battle of the queens, as it were, at the top, potentially going into some of our racing maps that are coming up down the line for the third and fourth and fifth rounds through World of Wonder. So if they could do that well and then race well, I think you could see maybe BellaFox taking it all here.
I've got one word for you before we get to our game. That's Jacob. Jacob is my one word.
Okay. Jacob Gaming, the boat gang on top. I gotta say, Powerbang, I'm pretty sure that every PUBG Mobile event that I've ever been a part of, I was kind of backing the boat gang, and the boat gang always comes through. So I honestly, a great shout. It's time to get into the game. It's time to get into Miramar. Let's see what these teams are able to do. Boat gang, Sniper Queen, or maybe somebody completely different. We'll see. Wynnsanity, I'm looking at you. Step up. It's time. Let's take a look at Miramar here, Powerbang.
Absolutely. The plane path coming in from the northeast here. A lot of teams out early once again. I'm actually surprised by this, especially on Miramar, because, again, there is not much up there. Torre Ahumada, Campo Militar, there's a lot of stuff, but you got to think that El Azahar is going to be a popular destination up in the northeast, but there are far more people out of this plane than I expected at this point in the game.
Yeah, and, you know, you talk about kind of team chemistry and some of these teams potentially even practicing. I mean, they only got their teams, I think, a day or two ago after the qualifiers were finished, so maybe not a ton of time to practice. But a team like Wynnsanity, you know, I'll keep shouting him out. They've got some pre-built chemistry with him and Pokey, so there's a chance maybe they've definitely played Miramar together. There's a chance they've got a favorite drop spot as well. So, again, we talk about comfort picks, Powerbang. They might just pick their comfort pick here because they know the spot, they know they can win that drop spot, and it'll set them up for success. The worst case scenario is that you go down really early and you can't do anything about it. Yeah. I did see Quan Deadshot. I think the only team dropping on the north, I think it's northwest side of the map. I saw the only team even in the north side of the map, period, potentially.
You know, it's a great point. We'll see how it shakes out on the rotate, but I like the call of BellaFox Gaming. I saw them land at Hacienda del Patron, and that is my favorite drop spot. So not only are they listed first on all the team listings, but they dropped my favorite drop spot, got second overall right now. Goj, I'm liking the pick, my friend. You are sitting good over there. Got our eyes on Bushka now as well as he's cruising around the map, checking things out, doing a little off-roading here. Love to see it. But they are already on the rotate, which to me, Goj, is, I don't know if that's a great thing at this stage of the game because they don't have much loot. Come on, let's be real. They probably got a pistol, maybe some fists, maybe the new dagger.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great shot. And that's what we talked about in the early game. Is that you got to find good loot in order to kind of engage in some early combat, which is where you can find a sizable amount of points. Now, we've been talking about the Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat, the Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat. You know what we really haven't talked a lot about? We haven't talked about the Dodge Hornet, right? Our third vehicle of choice here. You've got that Sunburst was that orange skin that you saw there. So we'll continue to shout that one out as well. Look, a great vehicle. So maybe some people think the Challenger, the Charger's got a little bit more oomph, but everybody's got their preference when it comes to vehicles.
Absolutely. I'm still sticking with my Charger call out from earlier. I will take the Charger SRT Hellcat version any day of the week. I don't know what color I would go with, but let's just call it jailbreak. Let's go with that. We are riding along right now, though, with Rolex. We're taking a peek at his team over here. They're getting that loop going on, and I still like Rolex. They're at, I believe, Chumasera here. Definitely got to be one of the favorites here on Miramar. They got some gunners.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, if you can kind of like isolate some of the strengths of your teammates, team chemistry is everything. We talk about that all the time in tournaments like this, and when you're kind of paired with random teammates that came through qualifiers, it can be difficult to find team chemistry. But if you can say, hey, I'm really good at X, I'm really good in close range encounters, for instance, right, which could be sometimes pretty difficult, especially if you're not using a shotgun. It's put you on the front lines. You're the entry person. Like, you're running through the doors. You're blasting through the second floor space that potentially has 3 players in it. Maybe you're the great grenade thrower. So we isolate resources over to your side, and you're able to throw all the grenades through the windows. I've already seen a couple of those today already, and I know a lot of these players are really good at that. So those are some of the fun conversations these teams are kind of having on the back end as a kind of peek behind the curtain.
Thank you for peeling back that curtain, Goj. I've always been curious what it's like in a game of PUBG Mobile. I'm peeking along here with her gaming. Yeah. She's a bit of an underdog here, I feel like. She's got some tremendous skills, and she is always eager to put those to use. A little bit inconsistent on the play, though, sometimes. Sometimes the opponent will get the jump on her, but other times she just goes absolutely nutty. You'll see those clips over on her social media, so check her out at Her Gaming. Excited to see if she goes ham here tonight.
That's a great shot. We've got, of course, we're live on PUBG Mobile socials all over the place, but all of our creators are obviously live as well. Go check them out. We've got a total of 16 creators competing today. BellaFox, Her Gaming, or otherwise, and our 17th creator, Powerbang. I believe we're live on your channel as well. So, hey to Powerbang's chat. Thanks for tuning in.
Ooh, yes. That's even
Indeed. Love you guys over at the Banger Nation. Thanks for the support. And we have ourselves maybe some action here. I hear some gunshots in the distance. It looks like they still are a bit distant, but we do have Her Gaming and Farooq Ahmad squaring off here, and they are in El Azahar. Again, we saw all of those teams drop early on. A couple of them peeled off, but what remains is the remnants here of Her Gaming and Farooq Ahmad. Only 57 players left in the lobby, so a bit of clashing has happened already.
Yeah, it looks like Farooq has got an angle from distance, trying to connect and potentially just deplete resources, if not grab a knock. And, this is kind of that patient play style where they're just kind of biding your time, playing patient, trying to figure out, what it looks like to push this fight. Because you don't want to be this, like, hyper-aggressive team that just flies at the other squad. You're likely going to get picked off if they're holding angles like Farooq was a moment ago. But if you are able to get a knock, that's usually the signal flare to say, let's move. Everybody move in. We've got player advantage. Let's push the fight and let's win the fight. So we can grab it. Potentially, if you get a full team wipe, Powerbang, that's 8 points added to your leaderboard. There's some teams on our leaderboard that don't even have 8 points yet.
They need it. They need it indeed. I want to see Her Gaming pick up those points here and join her girlfriends at the top of the standings right now. I want to see a girl-dominated event is what I'm really hoping for here. Again, Solara and BellaFox have shown out in the first game. And we're off to some hot starts here in game number 2 as we take a peek over to Prodd and his squad. Prodd has fallen into a hole, but luckily it's filled with a lot of weapons and, supplies.
Yeah. It's always scary. Fall damage can go crazy, but it's got a bunch of weapons. Definitely worthwhile to loot around. And again, I think just trying to grab as much resources as possible. Obviously, you can upgrade backpacks, armor, and everything in between. Everybody knows that, but I think the key loot that a lot of people sometimes don't think about, especially in a competitive sense, you've got to find smokes. Like, obviously, you get your meds so you can outrun, blue and be okay in the zone, but if you don't have smokes for end to end middle game, you're going to be really in trouble. Even if you do have some of those dodge vehicles, smokes are going to be key to help you rotate and not get picked off in the process.
Hey, Goj, you know what I saw on Prodd's back?
Yeah, go grab that.
What'd you see?
I saw a crossbow.
Oh,
he's gearing up. He's gearing up. He's going to be making some tactical explosions here in just a bit. I have all the faith in the world that Prodd's going to hook it up and treat you guys to some glorious fireworks.
Yeah, again, that tactical gunpowder tool is why I'm so excited about the crossbow. I love the crossbow in general, but you add that tactical gunpowder tool and you're going to be feeling fantastic, especially if you can connect and get the instant explosion. Prodd Gaming, maybe my new favorite, just because of that. We'll see. Only time will tell. Needs to connect for it on main stage, though.
You know, if there's anyone to do it, I will say that it's got to be Prodd, man. He has hit some ridiculous crossbow shots in the past on our community broadcast. I believe he had 2 or 3 in one game here at a recent event. So, again, he is the man you want to have that crossbow in his hands. Very excited to see what he does with it here. And rewinding in my head just a little bit, when Prodd fell in that hole, was that the weirdest bullfighting ring you've ever seen in your life?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just can't get it out of my head.
Yeah, certainly one way to think about it. But as we swap over to the Thesaurus PG, and now we're looking at Dodge Challenger, SRT Hellcat, and I believe, this is the Blaze skin. So one we really haven't seen on broadcast. This is probably up there with one of my favorite skins. Sure, I like the jailbreak, but the Blaze is just so clean. Like, definitely something that I'd want to get, like, in IRL.
Yeah.
Check it out. Coffee's doing donuts right now with the Dodge Hornet, and that is your Dodge Detour challenge completed. They were fortunate enough to be sitting in it as the challenge popped up. They are spinning donuts in that Dodge Hornet. So nice work to them. Dab Plays also getting it done as well. You can see those guys completing their challenges on screen right now.
Yeah, this is key because, again, a lot of these players have been using the Challenger SRT Hellcats. A lot of these players have been using the Charger SRT Hellcats. Not everybody's been using the Hornets, right? And so if you don't have at least one person on your team using the Hornet, you're not going to be able to complete some of these challenges. So you got to really think about variety because these players don't know the challenges beforehand, these Dodge Detours, but it looks like several players are thinking in that exact same mindset. We already have 6 different teams that have executed on the Dodge Hornet Donuts, which means they're all grabbing 5 extra points to the leaderboard.
You crossed it off? I crossed it off.
These points are going to come in absolutely clutch. You saw the 12-point margin or 11-point margin, I believe you said, between first and second, and then 12th in the rest. So that is an interesting way to make up that gap, is by spinning donuts in a Dodge Hornet. That'll chip away a big part of that gap. But again, the middle of the pack separated by just a few points, and those points are going to be so crucial. So again, if you haven't got a Hornet, you better pick one up and start spinning donuts in your Dodge.
Oh, heck.
And we had a chance to see, and we're going to see it here shortly, some of our IRL racing content, but in game, a lot of people say Dab Plays might be one of the best drivers, but he's got to showcase it here in the Hornet because getting shot from distance and potentially losing his teammates in the process. But did acquire some high ground, connect some shots from distance with the M16, would be feeling fantastic. Likely will lose juice here in it. Oh, is it Wynn shooting back? Or is this a different fight? I can't tell. Regardless, you were right about these long sight lines. I've seen Miramar, and as we're seeing it again on main stage, this is quite long sight lines. We're looking at pick up a sniper, pick up an M16. Maybe you could shoot that with an AK or SCAR, but it's gonna be difficult to hit more than 1 or 2 shots every once in a while.
Bane, where do you go? We kind of
got BellaFox is the object of Wynn's desire right now as far as knocking her down on the battlegrounds. Long shots, though, to ask of that AKM. Maybe you should try out the new Ace 32. I hear there's less recoil. So, again, Dab Plays said he wasn't going to get shot out of his vehicle again, but unfortunately for him, his teammate did. So here they are in the exact same position 2 games in a row.
Dude, I'm one shot.
Oh, this is so close. He's just far enough away where The vehicle's exploding. He won't go down. I think he gets the revive off.
Nice.
But it's got to be in trouble. I saw a smoke go out. He was trying to cover the advances as well. Was quite literally one shot. Ridiculous. But see what her gaming can do. Trying to provide, it looks like maybe a bit of covering fire for her teammate across the way. I don't know. She's got fantastic eyes apparently, because I could not see.
Yeah.
I was in my monitor trying to see that speck from so far away. That was impressive.
Well, sometimes you just got that ultra instinct, you know? You just know it's there. You got to put some shots down range, even if it's just a hunch sometime. But I think her gaming has got the wrong idea here, headed into the blue zone. This is not where you keep your health. But again, nice job going around the hillside here to avoid some of those shots. In all seriousness, going to pick up the teammate, perhaps? Maybe?
Yeah, sure.
We'll see. Maybe just take a bunch of damage, too. That could be the move.
Yeah, I think they're just making sure that they wouldn't get shot, and then trying to pick up the teammate. They're running away. A little bit of communication error. That's part of it, right? You're playing with new players. Maybe you've never played with before. Likely you've never played with before. They went through the qualifiers, but
I don't know you're here. Don't.
Speaking of the fight on hand, Riggs trying to IGL. It looks like only one player left alive on his team, and this is a great shout from Riggs. He's saying, "Don't take a shot, you'll be dead." But getting shot from behind, pinched by two different teams. Power bang. Riggs' team has been fully eliminated.
It's not what they were hoping for, but again, on the delivering end of that blow, Team BellaFox Gaming, they are off to a rockin' start here. And again, you kind of called this one. You were expecting big things from BellaFox and the gang here, and she's delivering so far. Still in it, and the team looking awful strong. I don't know if I can say the same for the Thesaurus PG. Again, crawling around here and staring at an enemy who is on his flank. This is tough.
Oh, no. I just gotta say, I love the Thesaurus PG. Incredible content creator. This tournament, not going his way, Powerbag. Every time we swap to his perspective, my man has been in trouble. So, the Thesaurus maybe down. Dab somehow still alive. Nope, just kidding. Just for a second was alive. Trying to drive away and couldn't do it. Yeah, out of here, but really fought his life very, very well. The fact that he even had a second there where he was still alive after the last encounter we saw was pretty impressive.
Is going down the road.
You know, we saw a quick glimpse of the map there for a moment from Wynnsanity's point of view, and I will say the center of this zone is centering up almost exactly where all of those squads went early on, so there's a chance that some of those early jumpers to El Azahar haven't had to move a whole heck of a lot at all. So as long as they've been able to kind of hold home court, so to speak, and defend their turf, they're probably looking pretty good at this point. And somebody who is looking pretty good, once again, Farooq Ahmad, still in it with a full squad in this one.
That's a great breakdown, and it's good to see Wynnsanity still alive as well. Several teams still up, still 45 alive, so plenty of teams here still up and breathing, but the question is how long. We're about to kind of get into what I call kind of the late mid-game, where you've got a little bit more time to set up some of your spots. You pick your spots in your zone. You kind of then bunker down, grab your vehicles, provide yourself some cover, find some hills to utilize, and we swap back to win. This is what I'm talking about. Try to pick up some eliminations if you can, but you gotta go set up for zone, and that's exactly what he just said. He's gonna go grab his Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat. He's got the lime skin on, and he's gonna rotate to the next zone for sure. And they gotta maybe work together here because there's already gonna be some teams there.
That lime's looking hot. Those red calipers to boot. So yeah, you can see. We kind of highlighted it on the way in. We talked a little bit about Miramar, some of the things to look out for. One of those was, again, fighting out in the open, using the terrain. You can see these guys using these like ridges and embankments to fight behind. It's been happening the entire map so far. I don't know that we've seen an actual compound fight. Maybe as the circle closes, we will, but where they're at on the map is actually quite a challenge to find some cover. Problem being now, though, with Wynn getting out of the vehicle, his car is getting pinged from distance pretty badly. He's lost a couple of tires here, and this is going to make the rotation very difficult.
Yeah, vehicles are key, but gonna have to do it on foot this time around. We will see. And I think we're going to check out Bella again. Man, Powerbang. I mean, they're looking great. They're on edge of zone. They've got a position with a sizable amount of cover. They've got, I think, several different vehicles. We don't love the buggy, but we do have a couple of Dodge vehicles as well for cover, and all four are alive. Now, you could say the exact same about Farooq, so these two teams looking very, very solid. And speaking of high ground, my goodness, Farooq is He's looking for anyone and everyone rotating in from this side of the map.
I was just about to issue you another pop quiz. Do you know what this is? Yeah, this is high ground. This is way up on a perch, and this is a perfect spot, I will say, for that tactical gunpowder tool. Imagine if you had a crossbow up there. You could rain down some serious terror on people. That would be incredible to see. I don't know if Farooq has one equipped, but they definitely have their heads on swivels, vision looking at the horizon there. You can see those Hornets on rotation. And again, I can't tell who that is. Could be BellaFox. And nope, Bella's on the other side of the circle. So we'll see who is coming in. But they're an awful long way away. 400 plus meters on that rotation. They should be able to squeak in safely.
Yeah, he's right.
Looks like Wynnsanity's team is about to lose Pain, but
you gotta come.
Pokey and A still alive.
I'll cover.
On edge of zone. And I think, yeah, Pain is gone, but there is a team out in the blue. They should be able to hold this no problem and probably pick up a couple points as well. This could be a pretty key fight for them before they rotate to the next zone.
Safe Pokey because there's a UAV in here.
Yeah, speaking of rotation, they've got 90 seconds right now to basically handle this fight or disengage. They got to be careful not to commit and get stuck in the open with a player knocked, weakening their overall strength. They've already got one player down. They do not want to lose more here. So again, they've got to figure things out and what they want to do pretty quickly because they are going to have to prioritize circle here sooner rather than later.
It's in zone. It's a compound.
Yeah, they spotted one. Spotted one vehicle, I believe, that was able to rotate out on the right-hand side, or rather left side, looking at it. But they might think there maybe is one more there. Somebody pushing Bushka, though, and Bushka wins the encounter. Massive fight there. It looks like maybe just a solo that they were able to eliminate. So quick solo loot. They're going to grab that loot, move on their merry way into zone. Also a team not currently in zone, so they're going to have to make sure they're getting safe as quickly as they can after they grab all the meds and smokes and everything else they need. See the rapid looting as they then head over to potentially their vehicles to get into zone. No, BellaFox in trouble! Teammates in trouble! We'll see if Bella can get back on her feet, though.
She's fine. She's just doing a little sniping. You notice only one round left in that M24 mag. We'll get that clip, put it back, and she's going to send those shots down range. She's got the confidence. I know she'll be back out there. No problem. Maybe they'll rotate without her, though, and leave her here to snipe from distance. We'll see. We'll see. I will say, though, Bushka found a dirty camper. That's what they call that, hiding in a corner there. Glad he was able to get some momentum going and clean up. And now we've got some smokes blocking vision here, and it looks like Xifan's not super concerned about being able to see. He's going to lob some lead into that pack anyways. And if there's one end of a rifle you do not want to be on the receiving end of, Xifan's got to be at the top of the list in this lobby.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. There's so many creators we can highlight, and the fact that we didn't talk about Xifan at the top of the show is probably criminal. I mean, talk about an absolute slayer, a team that could be near solo carried, but you don't have to because he's got fantastic comm to boot. Now they're pushing this fight as well. Heard some comms kind of flying back and forth. They want to win this one. Looks like a nade here on left side should be able to zone off the player, so they know they're going to push right. Xifan might have an opening angle, but is having to kind of play from the backside. Doesn't want to get too aggressive here, down on a little bit of some health.
We have to push.
Man, their circle shift is pretty brutal. It's going all the way to the west of that safe area. Going to be some hard shifts for people, and we saw Wynn get eliminated here just a moment ago, so the team did not get to zone, as we were saying they must get to. Got caught out a little bit. That is okay. We're now checking out Xifan here, as they're going to try to make quick work of this opposing team, but he's got a teammate down on the flank, and that is not the person you want to go down. That person holding the off angle. Looks like Optimistic has got to try to get that revive, and hopefully Xifan's able to deliver here.
Excited to see if Xifan can win that fight, but checking in with Wynn's team, you're right. You called it. We saw Pain go down, but Wynn also got taken out in the rotation, and now they're in trouble. And this is what we talked about playing edge of zone. It's great to find eliminations. Hopefully your team has more than just one that was shown on screen, but you've got to get to the next zone and hope you don't run into 3-4 teams that have been there for 4 or 5 minutes, right? So there's so many different kind of contrasting strategies. All can work. You just have to be able to execute them, and Wynnssanity's team in trouble. But Farooq's squad looking pretty solid yet again. We've got a nice players spread, all, I believe, up besides maybe one. BellaFox restabilized and continuing to stay into the action.
Throw some smokes.
I really like Farooq's spot. They got that north side there, just north of Minas Generales, and it's one of the only compounds and buildings in the safe circle right now. So they've got it at their disposal, and it's up to them to kind of defend right now. So we'll see if they stay put, not have to get into it like BellaFox is having to do. But the good thing about BellaFox is they still have all 4 players alive, and they're starting to stack some eliminations on her squad as well. We'll obviously have the full tally at the end of the match. But again, I see them working out there. They're doing pretty freaking good.
Oh, well, look who's not doing great. Bushka not happy about that one. Maybe hopped out of that Dodge Hornet just a hair too early. Maybe should have driven up to the wall and potentially use it for cover. But maybe was just trying to sneak out early to get to the wall and play the wall. Unfortunately, goes down in the process. BellaFox's team, though, a great spot. They're not technically in the zone, but they're going to be able to find a ton of eliminations as several teams are all doing the Bushka strategy of maybe flying at walls, flying at cover here on edge of circle, rotating in. Massive moment to pick up a ton of points. Again, every elimination is 2 points. So any points here are going to go huge on your leaderboard, especially as you're racking up those placement points still alive.
This is a really tough circle for anyone that's not currently down in the lowlands. You can see here, we take a peek over at Xifan down below, which obviously, intuitively, you want the high ground, right? You want to be up top with that vision and those angles, but also it is going to be difficult for any of the teams not currently down here to make the track because they've got to come down the mountain. Got to show themselves, like, not just, like, you know, head and shoulders peeking. We're talking full-on gorilla peeking, feet, toes, all of it visible, Goj, and that's going to be a challenging way to try to get into this final circle.
Yeah, I love that breakdown, and you can see Lucky goes down. Sky's going to be the last one remaining on that squad, trying to find a couple eliminations here. It's getting chaotic. The circle is small. Do you have your nades? Do you have your smokes? Losing teammates left and right. Use your vehicle for cover and everything else you can find, but Farooq's team standing against the fight, and he goes and wins it. 1 HP in a dream. He's going to throw as many meds in as possible as teammates carrying. This teammate goes down. Farooq in trouble. 1 bullet. No, he's going to use the vehicle.
No!
Farooq somehow, the do-si-do, hops in the driver's seat, switches to the passenger seat, and grabs the elimination. Points to his head because that was a big brain play. Unreal.
Thank you.
That was 900 IQ, Farooq. I didn't know he had that in him, Goj. That was incredible. He was down to 1 HP, couldn't even get off a bandage before he got flanked and pushed by the enemy, and somehow, some way, able to get out of that, like, desperate position, get to the other side of the vehicle, and drop that body. That was absolutely incredible work there by Farooq. He knows it, too.
Yeah, he was excited about that play and got the revive on his teammate. Ridiculous. I hope it pays off for him. I want to see Farooq win it all there. That's a clip for the timeline. That was foul. And I know these players do something like that in pubs all the time, in kind of the public lobbies. To do it in a tournament like this, in the in circle of map 2, ridiculous. But we'll see if they can win it. They still have 3 up power bang. They definitely have a massive advantage over, I think, the other 5 players that are remaining.
Let's smoke.
You gotta wonder what that opponent was thinking of Farooq just now. Like, I mean, you gotta think, oh, he's one shot, he pushes. And to have it end like that, you're right, that was foul. It was uncalled for, it was filthy, and they're out for redemption right now. Farooq gets dropped with the grenade, and as quickly as it was getting started, it ends for Farooq, but I do believe he's got 1 teammate left up to try to make the difference.
Oh my goodness. BellaFox's team, I believe on screen. She's down, but her teammates are frying out in the open. A chance to win it. A chance to make me the prediction god. Power bang. BellaFox has done it, but most importantly, so have I.
Team BellaFox coming through in the clutch. The grenade at the end sinks the ship of Farooq Ahmad. And despite such a clutch play, BellaFox walking away with the dub here and already sitting in 2nd place, Coach. You gotta know she's feeling really good right now.
Yeah, you know what's crazy, right? Like, we saw BellaFox on main stage quite a bit, and I was shouting out, of course, she's known as kind of this sniper queen, but overall, the team chemistry is what's been so impressive to me, right? Their team's ability to play together as a unit was incredible.
It really was. Really, a lot of teams right now starting to gel a little bit. And again, Farooq, I wish he would have caught a little bit of momentum there at the end and been able to escape, because that was one of the better plays I have seen in my days as a caster and commentator in PUBG Mobile. And Farooq Ahmad delivers here. They got to be happy with the placement, though, Goj, as well, because, again, getting high up on these leaderboards, maybe finishing up some points on the Dodge Detour, they've got to be looking okay, at least for this Miramar game. Obviously, we'll have to check in on the standings here in just a moment.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see where the leaderboard shakes out. I'm excited to see what these teams were able to do. I'm excited to see potentially Wynnsanity's team jump the leaderboard. Farooq's play, a legendary play, but the big question is, where are they going to find themselves on the leaderboard? It's going to be fun to see. Now, before we get into that leaderboard, I know the admins are doing the math behind the scenes here, Powerbang. What I'm excited about, too, is what's coming up, right? We're going to World of Wonder next. We're going to see some Dodge official collaboration race maps, and our creators are going to have to do some racing in-game, and we're going to have a chance to see some of the IRL racing content they were able to do before even this show happened.
Absolutely. We'll check that out here in just a moment. But first, the highlights from match number 2. Miramar action kicked off early with donuts. The Dodge Hornet spinning in circles in the desert. That's what we love to see. And Dab plays while he tried to drive by there. Unfortunately, unable to, getting capped across the desert. And that led into some BellaFox action, just starting to get the momentum going early on in this one. And you are absolutely right. Every time we switch to Papa PG, it seems like there's a grenade headed into your living room, and that's obviously something he's going to try to shore up as this event goes on.
Yeah, definitely. And some of those well-placed grenades can totally change the tide of battle. But see, Bushka there was able to grab an elimination or two, but unfortunately got caught in rotation as well. Here's Xifan, a team that on paper should do really well today, and they did pretty well. They made it to late game, but this is the play we were highlighting. This is the play we've been talking about. Ridiculous. Look at this seat swap in that Dodge Hornet to grab the elimination and get the revive to push into, I believe, what was second or third place. Ridiculous, and he knows it.
Oh, that was incredible. You could see him go from, like, ultra stressed to, like, oh, my God, did I just do that? That's incredible.
Yeah.
Then BellaFox with the hype here at the end of the map. You don't see too many parachutes at the end of the game. That's something that's a bit interesting. We take a peek to our scoreboard, and we do have a new leader in the clubhouse, Coach.
Wow, look, I'm not saying I called it, but I called it. Team BellaFox from second place to first place. They not only grabbed their Dodge Detour points with the 5 points overall that they've been able to secure, but they also have 15 eliminations, tying Team Solara at the top, but they've got the edge when it comes to those placement points that they've been able to grab, those ranked points, as it were, from just getting first and getting that chicken dinner in this second map. But it's those 5 Dodge Detour points separating them, of course, from Team Solara. As you take a look down this leaderboard, though, I mean, you can see, like, Team Bushka, they're top 8, mostly because they've grabbed both of the Dodge Detours that have popped up on screen for a total of 10 points. That's a ton of points to look back on. So, and also Team Wynnsanity made a big jump. I believe they were 13th going into that map, jumped all the way up to 8th place, only a point behind Bushka and 2 points behind Prodd.
You know, I will say that the Dodge Detour is making a bit of a difference here, because only 3 teams have collected both of those, with Bushka, Wynnsanity, and Riggs so far being successful in that. We'll keep an eye on those and how they impact the scores in just a bit, but we also have ourselves a peek at what's coming up next, which is the IRL race event, Goj. Tell me a little bit about this.
I am so excited to watch this content. We're going to have a chance to get a peek behind the curtain at this incredible IRL racing event that several of the teams that we've highlighted today were actually able to be a part of. Those content creators. Wynnsanity, we've talked about BellaFox, he's at the top of the leaderboard. We talked about Farooq. I mean, incredible racing content they were able to do in-person IRL. I'm talking hands on a wheel, Powerbang. And then they also raced in games. So a fantastic collaboration with Dodge to make this all happen. but a lot on the line with this tournament for the players, and we've got a lot on the line just for being here. You actually get rewarded. So it's time for our first giveaway of the day. I know you've been asking for it. Let's roll that giveaway. Now, this is pretty important. All you have to do is drop your PUBG Mobile UID in chat. Now, spam it, type it in as many times as you want. There's no limitation. Type your UID in chat now for a chance at some UC. Powerbank, I love doing these because we love hanging out with our chatters, but we also love rewarding them just for being a part of the broadcast. They're a big part of it.
Heck yeah. Thank you guys so much for being here, and stick around. We got some epic content coming up. I want you to pay attention when we watch this real life racing. Watch how close it looks to in-game. It's absolutely incredible what PUBG Mobile has done here. Best of luck winning your UID giveaway. I'm excited to see who walks away with that UC. Goj, what do we got coming up next?
Yeah, it's time. We're going to head to this IRL racing event, tap in, maybe hop into your simulation seats. I don't know what you've got. Grab some water, though, because it's going to get fiery for this Dodge collaboration. Don't go anywhere. Check out this video.
Hey everyone, I'm Wynnsanity, and I'm here at the Radford Driving School, joined by Farooq Ahmad, Thesaurus PG, and BellaFox, and we're here with PUBG Mobile to celebrate the in-game collaboration with Dodge. In the game, you can find Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcats, Charger SRT Hellcats, and of course the Hornet. While we're here, we're going to compete in a series of challenges both in-game and on the racetrack to compete for points to see who is the best driver.
The rules I've lived by is that it shouldn't feel fast. If it feels fast, I'm either not driving the car correctly, right? Or I'm going too fast. The car is trying to tell me, hey, slow down, or I'm not looking far enough ahead. But the first thing I'll check is where am I looking? And I still have to remind myself sometimes to get my eyes up.
So the first time you actually get in the car, kind of grab the steering wheel, put that seatbelt on, you kind of feel like there's just a lot more power there.
The engine was so powerful, just the slightest little bit of gas, and we were off to the races.
It was the first time that I was driving a car like that, a Dodge Challenger, and I was impressed by the way it handled, the acceleration, and especially the sound.
It should be a challenge. So that's the reason I want to do 45 miles an hour. Okay, so you do whatever selected speed you're supposed to, set it by this awning, you approach, you're heading for the single lane, you could see it wide open. Again, sets the speed. Looks easy, right?
No. So getting on that seat is definitely a dream come true, and having that experience is such a breathtaking.
That was good.
It's hard to translate actual driving to PUBG Mobile. However, I think with all the knowledge that we got here from how to basically tackle a turn, where the apex is, how to turn in, when to brake, it's gonna make me an even better driver in PUBG Mobile. And as we all know, I'm already the best, so I'm gonna be even further up top. So that's awesome.
I think I had the most fun I've ever had behind the wheel of a car in my entire life. We're getting good. We're getting good. Nothing prepared me for the sheer amount of fun that I was going to have today. Like, over the top, best thing I've ever done. Oh my God, that's so much fun. So one of the things that I took away from today is really like where you're looking, and your vision is very important. So one of the things that they taught us today was really that our vision needs to be way more forward focused and look down the lines. And so in PUBG Mobile, that's going to help me as well. Because I'm just kind of driving where I'm going, but if I'm actually looking out around, maybe that's going to help me situational awareness wise and seeing cars that are oncoming. So I think a lot of the things that we learned today will help translate into the game.
I'm super happy. I was the best. It was driving on the track. That was the favorite part, to be honest.
I think my absolute favorite part of the day was when I was going 102 miles per hour. That was not a typo or a misspike. 102 miles per hour down the straightaway. Blew my mind, dude. Insane.
Without a doubt, my favorite part of the day was waiting in line on the final race and looking back after Farooq completely botched that last turn and seeing in my rearview mirror, he's just going. So yeah, that was a little bit adrenaline pumping.
Definitely winning. In case you didn't know, I came first, and hey, it's good. Life is a winner. I love it.
So after 2 scorching days in the Arizona heat, we are not done yet. We're going to be taking everything we learned at the Radford Driving School and applying it to PUBG Mobile, where we will compete right here to see who is the fastest driver in PUBG Mobile once and for all. We not only will go to Erangel and try to see who can get the most eliminations out of a Dodge vehicle, we also have 2 official custom World of Wonder racetracks that we will be racing on here, and you guys can also check them out in-game in the World of Wonder mode.
Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put this Dodge in the water so they can't have it.
How do I revive him? I'm so
sorry. Oh no!
What was that?
How about if I tell you where Dodge is, then you'll come get me? So I know where what is. I'm not lying.
What is feel Farooq? Chill. Oh no! The inside of the cars is like 100% accurate.
Yeah.
I checked out the Challenger.
It's like it's crazy, right?
I know. It's like the exact same thing. It's crazy. Yo, Farooq, they're just feeding you.
I think I need to get the car serviced.
I had to, man. Please, sorry.
No! Did I get him?
No, you didn't get him, bro.
I didn't even get him. I didn't even get him. I don't have a recall card.
Count it, baby! Count that! Wait, what if I blow them up?
Well, I always got this guy like this.
No! Oh! No way, he's gonna get the res! Please tell me!
Yeah, he's gonna revive.
What?
Yeah.
Oh! Man. Yes!
Oh my god! Oh god!
Well, how come you find that guy?
Thank you, PUBG.
I'm under fire!
But it's not.
Oh, I'm gonna go down! No! Not good!
Stop quick and give me the car scan.
They're the worst drivers ever, and maybe if they'd gone to Radford Racing School, then they could have caught me. But guess what, baby? Not happening.
You need a dodge?
Did you got it?
No! No!
Yellow. 2, 1, go! Go, 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 go! Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, this is awesome. This is
I got that inside turn. I got power position. Hey, hey,
Oh,
hey,
what is it? Bro, what was that?
hey, come on. That is not what they taught us, guys.
Just don't boost too much. Don't go to 800 horsepower mode, Farooq.
I'll be in 800 horsepower mode.
Oh my god, you turned me! I didn't know that was possible.
Let's go. I think Farooq is so far behind. He's going to stop Bella.
I'm the last one, man. I'm the last one.
Man, this training has really paid off. Like, now that we're actually on a track. Let's go, baby! That's right, that's right. Best driver in it.
Yep. Wow, what? How
I
fast
got
are
this.
you?
This is the last one.
The winner is waiting there. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
That's okay. That's okay. We all slipped on that one.
Everyone.
That's all right. That's all right. I'm turning on 797 horsepower, okay?
I'm just accelerating here, Win. Get out of the way.
I trained for 2 days for this racing.
That's okay. You know what?
No!
Let's
Oh, I was
in the lead. Come on.
Let's go.
All right, after 4 gruesome challenges, we have our final results. In 4th place is Farooq Ahmad.